Thank you. I am not the same person that was here in October. Can you tell? I'm changed. It's really true. I did want to bring something to show you. I don't leave home without her. Her name's Goldie. Woo! If you follow my Instagram page, you'll know that she's made lots of appearances. I take her picture everywhere I go. I just randomly put her places and take her picture, and just any workout I have. I ran in Carmel yesterday at the, I don't know, I can't pronounce whatever that race was, but the Guggenheim Gallop or something. I don't know what it was. I don't know, but it was a 5K. But anyway, I ran with this too. I take her everywhere. But anyway, thank you all for your support. I did manage to survive the New York City Marathon, and it was an amazing event. And I truly am not the same person. There's something about that's true what they say about training for a marathon and running a marathon. You will not be the same person, and I believe that, and I feel that. But I thank you for your support. And 261 Fearless thanks you, women across the globe. Some of you that supported my running through that today and for now on are strengthened and empowered through movement. Movement is medicine. I do believe that. And they're finding their strength and becoming more authentically themselves. And there's great power in that. And you are a part of that. And thank you for that. And New York City was a party. Let me tell you, they know how to celebrate their runners in New York City. If you ever get a chance to run that marathon, do it. It is amazing. They cheered us on for 26.2 miles. And as I shared with Chris earlier, I did put together a sermon about everything I learned running 26.2 miles. And I will share that with you sometime. But I don't know, this time of year, I just wanted to share about Advent. And regardless of your status, whether you're a Christian, not Christian, I just believe there are principles around, like in most things. You can, no matter where you are, or what you're following, or where your journey's taken you, there are probably principles and things that are meaningful and that you can find meaning in. So that's as you listen to this and whatever journey you're following, I hope you will kind of take what you need. And I hope that will apply in this. But for those of us who are raised more in a Christian tradition, as you've heard me, if you've heard me speak before, I had to kind of exercise or get rid of a lot of that tradition. But then I've let some of it come back in. And as it's come back in, I've been able to embrace some of the more, empowering parts of it. And that's been beautiful. And I hope that you will kind of begin to see that. But what I want to talk for just a little bit about is this notion of Advent. And I think it's a marking in the Christian calendar of a time of waiting expectantly. Everybody say expectantly. It's not a time of waiting like sitting on the couch and doing nothing and just waiting. I was just talking about running. If I had just sat on my couch for 3 months and then went to the starting line of the marathon, how would I have done? Not very well, would I? I was waiting to run the marathon, but while I waited, I ran a lot of miles. I trained. I did a lot of stuff to get ready to do it, okay? I was waiting, but that's expectant waiting. That's the kind of waiting we're doing here. Advent marks a time of expectant waiting. And during the Christian season of Advent, we actually have specific markers of that. And this is this year's Advent wreath. Everybody say, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. This one, that's got my heart all a bubble. My wife does know how to get me, man. We just put up the Christmas tree, and it was December 1st, and she said, it's first Sunday of Advent. And I go, yeah, it is. That does get my heart bubbling. And, it was actually the day before. It was Saturday. And she goes, look what I got you. And it's a Lego Advent wreath. If you don't know, my Instagram name is Mills365 Lego. It's an actual Advent wreath, and so I put it together, and then every Sunday I put on one of the little Lego flames. So it's not all a flame. In fact, it's on our altar at Oak Landing, and this morning before I came here, I went over and put one of the Lego flames on the third candle. That is how into this I am. But in the Christian tradition, each one of those... Oh, I just knocked something. I get carried away. I just knocked something out of here. But okay, in the Christian tradition, each one of those candles represents something. And that's what I want us to spend just a few moments talking about, what each one of those candles represents. And might it not apply to us? And that is what this season might be, a time of really expectantly waiting, and how we might invite those things into our lives, because those 4 candles are symbols of things that I think are applicable to all humanity and are things that we all could use in our lives, no matter where we are on the journey. And I think Advent is really a time where we all can specifically say, take inventory and just really mark this month as, hey, I can pause here for a minute and really inventory my life. And how can I bring those 4 things into my life more? And I think that's what it's about. The first candle is the candle of hope. Everybody say hope. Hope. Hope, a candle of hope. I don't know about you, but I can use a little more hope, okay? But hope isn't just some pie in the sky. Everybody say pie in the sky. It is more than pie and sky. It is more. It is an expectation. It is something that requires more than just picturing it out here. I want you to look at something. This is, everybody know what that is, right? That is a little acorn seed. It's beautiful, isn't it? But what does an acorn seed become? It becomes a mighty oak, right? All right? But it doesn't just, you don't just hold it in your hand and watch it. It's going to become. It takes some action, doesn't it, for that to happen? I visioned that it will become a giant oak, and I can vision it all I want, and that's important that I vision it, that I imagine that it becomes that, but then it is important that it also gets a little what? Probably some dirt, right? Probably a little water, probably a little sunshine. It needs a few things to become a mighty oak, doesn't it? Our hope needs more than just our imagination. I hope for this world to find some good things. But you know what? I can't just lay in bed and hope for the world to find those great things. I don't think. I got to get out of the bed. Everybody say, get out of the bed. Is it easy to get out of the bed? No, not for me. Every day is not easy. Maybe it is for you, but I got to get out there and I got to provide some soil, some water, some sunshine, whatever is my gifts that I have. I got to provide that. I got to imagine that hope for the world. And then I got to bring my gifts, whatever those are, to nourish that hope. That acorn needs me. Hope needs you. And that's what this month's about. That's the gift of Advent. Waiting expectantly. What do I bring to that acorn seed? What do I bring to hope for the world? What do I have in me? I'm waiting this month to discover that and to really ask those questions of myself. What do I bring to that acorn seed? What do I bring to hope? Am I bringing the dirt? I dish the dirt sometimes, but I don't think that's what it means, okay? I think it means something else. What do I bring to fertilize and nurture that seed? What sunshine do I bring to that seed to grow hope in the world? Because I think the universe is tired of me just saying, I wish there was some hope around. I think the universe is saying, there is hope. Would you just nourish it? Would you just shine the light on it? It's all around you. It's all around you. We must do more than just imagine it. We must get out there expectantly. So the first candle is all about hope, all right? And this month is about asking how you can be actively involved in bringing that hope to becoming a giant oak tree. That's what it's all about. The second candle is about peace. Everybody say peace. Peace. Everybody go, I don't have much of that kind of peace. Do you? I don't. I brought this. Here we go. Okay, this is always my favorite picture. Okay, we've lived in the same house now for, 22, 23 years, I don't know. And there's that many pictures of our house like this. This is usually 3 o'clock in the morning, Christmas Eve, when we get everything done, okay, because that's just how it is. And there's one picture like this, where it's total peace. It's quiet finally, everything's done. I've got everything cooked I want to cook probably. Every present is wrapped, and it's just like, I've just, done it's just been a whirlwind. There's been no peace, okay? I'll just put it there, 0 peace. And nobody's fault but my own, 0 peace. And then literally flash forward 3 or 4 hours. And ain't no more peace. But you know what? I got to tell you the truth. It may look like there's no peace, but I can tell you there's peace there too, And I think Advent invites us to that place that there's peace in that first picture. There's a certain peace in the perfection of that. But Advent, I believe, asks us to ask ourselves the question, is there not also peace in the chaos? Can you not also find peace in the storm? Now, I'm no science girl, but I've been told, all right, that in the midst of the hurricane, where's the peaceful place? Right in the center, right? Or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but that's what science, truth, facts, science. There can also be peace. I think Advent says, hey, your life may be twisty-topsy, upside down right now. And the world may have spun out of control and things may not be going the direction you want them to go. But Advent says, be in this moment and see if you can find peace just in this moment. just in this moment. And I think that is the beauty of the Advent candle of peace, that it says in this moment, can you find the peace? Because if I look at that picture, truthfully, those are some of my peaceful moments too, when the whole family's yelling at each other, throwing wrapping paper at each other, and somebody let the dogs in the living room. Who did that when we're doing gifts? I don't want the dog in the living room when we're doing gifts, because that just makes the kids go even more, you know what I mean? Even as adults, they're all, oh! But if I can just calm down for a minute in the midst of that, that is so amazingly peaceful. Even though it's loud and rowdy and awful, it's also incredibly peaceful. If I can live in that moment. Because I don't know if I'll ever have another one of those moments. Who knows who will be back next year, you know? I don't know. But in that moment, that chaos is actually perfect too. Advent invites us to look at it that way. Because I don't know about you, my Christmas isn't hardly ever perfect like that first picture. My life is hardly ever perfect like that first picture. It's a lot more like the second picture. Even if you're going through those hard moments, Advent reminds you to live in the moment. And even in those hard places, you can find peace. It doesn't diminish the fact that, look at that Christmas story. It was chaos and craziness, okay? Even in that, there was peace. You can find peace too, and we can. So you got peace in the storm. You got hope. The third candle is joy. I'm not going to lie. This one is my favorite. I'm not going to lie. And it's the pink candle. Folks, mark it on your calendars. Every day, choose joy. Choose joy. Joy is an act of rebellion. It's not goofy. You got to take it seriously. I know I look goofy, but you do what you got to do for joy. Your joy may look more serious than my joy, but you got to do what you got to do, and you got to put it on your calendar every day. I'm going to choose something joyful. Whatever it is for you. Maybe it's 10 minutes of walking outside. Maybe it's a binge watching something, because I'm just going to do that today because that's going to bring me joy and y'all leave me alone. Whatever it is, it's okay. The world has told you, you got to do this and do this and do this. And you do have to do some of those things, I'm told. I know you do. You got to pay bills and all this. For whatever reason, you just got to do all that stuff beyond me. But no, I'm serious. You got to do that. But you also have to choose joy. I had a conversation with a friend just yesterday, lamenting the world, and why we did an event at the Unitarian churches, and where we did weddings for people, because the odds are there's a chance that LGBTQIA rights could change. There's a chance that immigration rights could change. And there are people that are needing to move up their wedding dates because of that. And so we were doing these weddings, and we were lamenting that. And she was talking about how horrible it was that people were having to rush those days potentially and that sort of thing. And I said, yeah, it's just we don't know, or this or that. But I said, you know what? We can choose joy in the moment. We're never going to know. Who knows what's going to work out? But, you know, in this moment, in this day, we can choose joy. And I'm going to choose joy every day. As an act of rebellion, if nothing else, I can choose joy today. And I bring this with you. If you need to choose joy, nothing makes you more joyful. This won't hurt anything. Just soap and water. I don't know what it is. If you're struggling, just get out your bubbles. Blow a few bubbles around. They're annoying sometimes, but I tell you what, it's hard not to smile when you see a bubble. I don't know what it is. They're simple, they're cheap, but just keep one of these close by you. I keep one in my Jeep. I keep with the top off the Jeep. I just go. Let me tell you what, when somebody's tailing you, put the top. I don't know if it's joy for me, but I simply share that way. I know I'm being kind of goofy, but I'm really actually very serious. You know, I don't know. Do I have a slide for that one? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, you're supposed to come up. Okay. I miss recess because I did retire from teaching, but the best part of school, it's true even for teachers, recess. Okay. This is me. We took these picters. It was so much fun. We should just play. I don't know where my third one. There I am. We took pictures of us jumping. Do you know how many jumps it took to get us in midair like that? All the kids did it too. We were doing all these jumps, but just take time to play. There's actual science behind that too, that play is so good for the mind and the body. Joy, play, do it. Mark your calendars. Put it on there. Do it. Quit putting it off. Quit saying it's goofy. Well, okay, it might be, but no, it's serious goofiness, okay? I'm serious. That candle reminds us. Advent says, inventory your life. Do you got your joy? You need your joy. A baby was born in a barn. That's kind of funny. Okay? It is. Okay? Somebody who's supposed to be the savior of the world was born in a barn. I mean, it's ironically a little bit funny. All right? Find your joy. And last, but not least, and our movement, more than any, kind of really solidifies this, but the last one is love. The candle that we will light next week is love. And for me, it's about centering in love. And the last candle invites us to ask, are we centering our lives in love? Not in law, not in this, not in that, but in love. Are we centering in love? And what would that mean for us to center in love? If you'll notice in our movement, we've changed things around a bit. And now we are actually, love is at the center. And then we've built kind of like our principles, well, we've kind of changed that, but they're all around the centering in love. And I love that notion. What would it look like to center in love? And for me, that's begun to look a lot like really seeing people and having to be seen by people and to see people as they are and who they really are. And that's really important for me in centering in love. I ran across this story. It was a story that came out of like a crisis intervention, women and children shelter in LA. And it's a very simple story, and I'll share with you. But and this person the story's about is now like a volunteer there, but she shares this. Or they shared this on their literature, but Amy, who now co-leads our child care center on Tuesday mornings so that others can volunteer, first arrived at Little Village, that's the name of this place, 2 years ago. She had a baby under one arm and a bag under another, and she'd escaped a violent, frightening home to build a new life. She says this, "The first day I came to Little Village was the first time anyone had ever made me a cup of tea. It makes me emotional now to think about it. I was so used to being the one who did everything for everybody else." And then they say this, "What one of our brilliant volunteers did that day through making the tea and through connecting with Amy as being a human being and a mother was to convey three things. We see you, we hear your request for help, and we care for you. In a world where language and behaviors are designed to reinforce professionalism and keep people and their needs a safe distance, the act of making tea feels like a quiet, nonviolent, but nevertheless radical protest against the dehumanizing structures that grind people further into poverty and isolation. A cup of tea." It's the first time anybody had really seen her and just treated her as she felt fully seen as just one person to another person in a cup of tea. I love that story. Centering in love for me means a cup of tea and sitting down with people for, let's have a cup of tea and talk. Or let's have a cup of tea and I'll listen. Which, as you all know, you don't know me that well, but I bet you could guess it's hard for me to listen. Easier for me to talk than listen, maybe. But I'm working on that. To be centered in love is to be both, a listener and a talker. But there's something very special. It was the first time she felt really seen over that cup of tea. And I will invite you, that fourth candle is about love. It's about a cup of tea. It's about something so simple, but yet so profound as being seen so clearly and treated as fully human. And I think about us as Unitarian Universalists, seeing her full dignity and worth over a cup of tea. How powerful is that? That is, to me, centering in love and what that's about. And my friends, that is for me, those four wonderful principles, or whatever you want to call them, four values, I don't know. That is what Advent teaches for me, and that's what it brings to me this month, a time to really look into my life and really inventory those core key components that I think really make life so rich and powerful and give me direction and purpose as I live and move in the world. And I would just challenge you to really look at those this Advent season and take some time to expectantly wait for those four values to show up in your life, and how can you actively bring those and grow those in your world. Thanks for letting me share, and Mark your calendar for some joy. I want to hear if you scheduled joy. All right. If you need to borrow the bubbles, let me know.